he's threatening me about
Right.
was he wants, this is a really funny thing. He wants a black person, a black woman. It was really weird. A black lady to come. He said it in a worse than this. He wants a black lady to come smack me or slap me or hit me. I'm
He
like,
wants a black woman to come smack you?
yes, that's it. That was
For
it.
what?
I don't know. I guess because like I talk about racism. Like, I don't know.
He does realize that we're free, right?
Yeah. He goes,
I mean, he does realize that, right? Like,
it was so specific that it was like troubling. I hope a black, I can read you the thing later. It's like, what the actual fuck? I hope a black lady comes and whacks you in the head or something. It was something like that. I was like,
for
seriously, dude?
talking about racism against black people, minorities.
Because, you know, that's what I deserve because I
And-
dared to
And what
talk.
did I tell you about talking to people? What did I tell you about talking to people with the IQ score of tomato?
I know. I didn't answer yet.
What did I tell you?
I read it. And all right, let's get started.
Let's get started.
You welcome. Hello there. Welcome to Real Talk with AngrySoccerMom and Anastasia.
Salutations.
Awesome to have you again. The live show discussion topics, as usual, or anything you feel is newsworthy about racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America. Of course, that's everything. So yeah, that. I am thrilled to have Anastasia here, being the co-host. Thank you so much. And the show is meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their mind and also to serve as an educational tool in cultural competency with a focus on learning the truth about systemic racism in America. And there's a lot of truth to learn. Just saying. And I speak to white folks. I don't tell black people or brown people or indigenous people anything. They can listen to me. I'm not going to like make them plug their ears exactly or something, but I am not the person who teaches black and brown people. They teach me if I'm lucky. They show me the way and I learn from them and I'm very thankful. So when I speak, I'm speaking to white folks because you know what? I truly believe that it is white people did this. We started this. We need to help, not to be saviors, none of that baloney. I'm talking about because we're human and like, yeah, right. We did this and we keep doing it. So that's all I have to say, which isn't true because I always talk a lot. So
It's okay. You got a lot to say. And I mean, I appreciate what you're saying because a lot of times what happens is we have people that, you know, hey, be quiet. You know, we know what's best for you, you know, and they don't. And they try to fix problems. That's not a problem. And don't fix problems. That's a problem. Or they only fix problems or do things that they're comfortable with.
Which will benefit us.
Right. Yeah, white people.
Right. Of course, because that's what we do. And I'm not saying that's what we do. It's just what we do. It's just a fact. I mean, really. And also not to continue on and on, but we don't know better than the actual people living it, like for real every single day in a culture of systemic racism. We don't know better. And so I will continue on. So welcome. If you're here, please say hi. And I see T's here. Yay, T. Thanks for being here, T. Let me see. If you want to personal message me ever, I have my Facebook page up, which is going downhill really fast because nobody actually gets any posts of mine anymore. Thanks, Facebook. I'm like, poof. Okay, sorry. Oops. And I'm just doing some quick. If you want to call in, please, we'd love it, but limit it to 5 minutes because Anna and I have a lot to say. As I told you by Aisha. Oh my gosh, welcome.
Thank you. Sweetie pie. So just to let you know before we go off track, AngrySoccerMom, she is an amazing person. Like her and I met.
Is that your daughter?
I'm sorry?
Is that your daughter?
No. That's not my daughter. She's going to be my daughter. But let me tell you something. Let me take it. I'm a brag on her like she is my daughter.
Do it.
She's a senior in high school, right? We literally had a conversation. The conversation started was about her wanting to do something about the gentrification in Laurel, Mississippi. So I'm like, wait a minute. I thought she was a grown woman or she was in college. She's in high school. And I was like, so then we have been talking and stuff like that, and passing the baton on. And she is a really amazing person, and I'm so glad you're here. And she's a high schooler, and we literally had a conversation today. And
Now
she's
she's in high
talking.
school? Like,
I'm sorry?
she's still in high school, or you met
She's
her?
in high school.
I love you.
She's
That's
in
so
high
awesome.
school.
Oh my God, I'm bowing down to you. Bowing down to you. Cool. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was like I thought you were gonna say I met her 20 years ago, and sweet. We'll jump right in. You're in the right place. Richard has some. Thank you so much for being here, Richard. And hi, Dave. It needs to not be qualified. I qualify everything. I'm so shy normally. White folks are the cause and administrators of systemic racism and are the only ones who can fix it. Oh, good evening, ladies. Hi. Actually, you should come on the show because you're much more. I'm just very like, well, we sort of are. But I know we are, but I'm very like, I don't know. I'm not as forceful. I should be more forceful. I want to be more forceful. You can teach me. Thank you.
As long as you're truthful.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? The truth never has to defend itself.
And
it will defend itself with facts, tangible facts. You understand what I'm saying? Because
absolutely.
So when we're talking about things, there's a difference between a truth and a fact in certain cases. A truth could be, I'm Oprah, because that's my truth. A fact is that I'm poor and not Oprah. You know what I'm saying?
One's an opinion, kind of? An opinion.
I'm sorry?
An opinion versus facts? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean, yeah. But what I'm saying is everybody has their own truths about certain things.
Right.
And yes, it is an opinion, but when you have a fact, it has facts behind it. It has data and lots of PowerPoint slides and stuff like that. And
yeah, I totally get it. I had somebody the other day said they wanted me to come on their show and do a debate, and I said, but see, here's my problem, and I know you know exactly what I'm going to say. I don't debate my fellow human civil rights. That's obnoxious. What am I going to say? What's the debate? You're an asshole? What am I going to say to the guy?
We don't negotiate with terrorists.
Thank you. So you totally get it. I'm like, what am I going to say? I mean, I don't want to be a jerk, but there's no debate. Some things are not a controversial issue. You get it. So tonight, thank you so much, everyone who's here. We are going to talk about two subjects. Of course, we can talk about anything you want to bring up, and we will do our best. But we picked two things. One is they're all incredibly scary and sad, but this one, Black children and them taking their own lives because of systemic racism. And we're not just talking their, little peers or something. No, we're talking actual adults who are supposed to be protecting them. I won't get into it now. And we're going to talk about, who is Kevin Davis? Who is he? Well, you're going to find out. So let's get started. If you are there, please say something, because I want to know what you think. And I know Anna does. And you're not going to say the wrong thing. And if you do, 15 people will pounce you. So no, just kidding. We're pretty open here. I'd like to think. Okay. So today, we're going to talk briefly about the ongoing like for, what are we, 250 years? I mean, ongoing forever epidemic of Black and brown children taking their own lives due to racism and bullying. And in this case, it is not just children. And you know what? It's always adults. Let me preface that, because you see, adults are in society, and society is hate. It's overwhelming. So even if students it's just their peers. No, society's doing it. So I wanted to show you. I want to start with a video. It's a little lengthy, but I think it's really important. And then Anna is going to jump in and we're going to talk. Okay. Sound good? Okay. let me get this. Whoa, almost disappeared. Let me get this video going if I can. And boom. Oops, that's not it. Oh, share screen. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay.
A 10-year-old artistic young lady committed suicide. Let's put up a picture. Her name is Courtney Tanner. The death of a 10-year-old black girl by suicide has led family and community members to demand a response from her Utah school district, where they say her concerns about bullying were completely ignored. Let me show you a screenshot of the family. The family is destroyed. They're distraught. They're done. Emotionally bankrupt. Okay? Let me give you very important background as to what happened to little Courtney. The girl's mom, her name is Brittany Tishner Cox, said Monday that she had reached out to the Davis School District several times to talk about Isabella, known as Izzy, was being treated by both classmates and her teachers. Mistreatment by both. We just did a damn story on this. Different state, different school, same issue. Through tears, Tishna Cox recounted that the intense abuse of her daughter for being black and autistic was allowed to continue without intervention. Oh, it gets deeper. Even though my baby is gone, she says, I'm going to make sure I stand for Izzy, Tishna Cox said, with sobs shaking her small frame. I will never get to see her again. I will never. She was 10 years old. She was only 10, she said before burying her face on the table during a news conference. Izzy, who was in the 5th grade, died on Saturday. Her mom, aunt, and grandmother spoke out Monday along with several in the black community in Utah about the tragedy, which they see as a part of a larger pattern of harassment and discrimination. We have been able to note that pattern right here on Indisputable. Izzy's death comes about 2 weeks after the US Department of Justice issued a scathing report from a lengthy investigation into the Davis School District's serious mishandling of reports of racism. The same school system was under federal review for mishandling claims of racism. Investigators found that the district administrators, we're talking about grown folks, the district administrators intentionally ignored serious and widespread racial harassment in its schools for years, failing to respond to hundreds of reports from black students after they had been called slaves, the N-word, and heard threats that they would be lynched. Put up a picture. She's dead. She killed herself. To anyone that sees this video, disagree with me politically. Vote for Trump if you want to. But you can't keep saying that systemic
I think it stopped. Can anybody out there hear me? Because I think AngrySoccerMom at this point, she is locked in at this point. Can somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Hello? Okay. So AngrySoccerMom is gone for a minute. It is technical difficulties. So as you can see, that is Dr. Rashard Ritchie at this point, and he does a show on TYT. It's called Indisputable. So I am going to fill in until she comes back. So again, this little girl is a black little girl in Utah. So I'm not surprised about any of it. And I'm pretty sure nobody in this audience is surprised. Malcolm X once said, only a fool would allow their enemy to teach their children. So when we're talking about these things, our children are being emotionally, physically, holistically murdered at this point in time. So that's what the video was about that he was talking about. But the thing about it is, what I was saying to AngrySoccerMom is that this is an epidemic, but how many more children need to die? Because we keep pretending like this is not an epidemic. This is definitely an epidemic. And why do we keep pretending like this is new? You will find that I did a Twitter tirade the other day. The youngest we have is a 6-year-old boy that killed himself after students in this particular school tried to lynch him. And the issue was the teachers didn't tell the parents. There was another child that he was a biracial child, and he was outside, and they literally tried to lynch him from a tree. Again, the teachers, nobody said anything. Hey, you doing, Bobby? Bobby Cooper. And so at the end of the day, nobody talked to the parents. Nobody told the parents what was going on. And I just think it's a miscarriage of justice. So I'm gonna read off a couple of the ages at this, a couple of the ages of children that have killed themselves so far that we know of, and why they killed themselves. And of course, it's because of systemic racism. So I'm just gonna go through a couple of times. I'm waiting for AngrySoccerMom to come on, but I'm gonna tell you a couple of things about this, and then we can do question and answer. Okay. So we have an 8-year-old from Cincinnati, and he was being bullied by an older child. Okay, his name was Gabriel. So he's 8 years old. A 9-year-old boy commits suicide after he's bullied for being black and also for coming out. You got 2 Alabama girls, black girls, within 1 month of each other that killed themselves. Okay, you got a teenager, he was 16, that killed himself over bullying. So my question to you tonight is, when is enough enough? When are we going to learn that it's not okay? It's not okay. How many children are going to have to die? Now, let me get this straight by me saying, bullying happens to all children. We know, telling the dozens and all these kind of things. But what I'm talking about is systematic racist bullying. And I'm going to go into 2 stories of my own children, and they're 13 years old here in the Fairfax County school system. First of all of these nice white people out, now I wouldn't say all, a majority of these nice white people out here decided to picket and march about CRT, something that we know is not being taught. They threaten children. Now, this is 5 minutes up the street. In a conversation with one of my daughters, she said a young man yesterday was talking about all the good things that Hitler did. So when she said that, I said, good things? What are you talking about? So the little boy went into saying that Hitler was an artist. And I was like, no, Hitler is not an artist. Hitler is a mass murderer that was trash and couldn't get into art school. So I don't know where this is coming from. Welcome back, my love.
How did it happen?
I don't know, but I took care of it. I've been keeping them busy and talking to them about it.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
You did awesome.
Yeah, thank you. So the video clicked off.
Oh,
so do you want to restart the video?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I can do that.
Well, go ahead and restart the video, and I'm gonna finish my thought as you're bringing it up.
Thank you.
No problem. Go ahead. I got you. I got you to your 6. So at the end of the day, my other twin, because my older twin, she said that somebody told her that she couldn't be Anne Frank, and I was like, why? And I said, if Cleopatra, what is her name? Elizabeth Taylor can be Cleopatra, you can be Anne Frank. So, but go ahead, AngrySoccerMom.
Thank you for covering. Thanks for holding it down. I had no idea that it would keep you on. That's awesome. All right, so what we're doing right now, if you're just joining us or if you're just seeing me, we're doing a video, and it's a really, really sad one about a little girl who must have been so desperate she took her own life. And we're right smack in the middle of it, and just let's get it going.
About 2 weeks after the U.S. Department of Justice issued a scathing report from a lengthy investigation into the Davis School District's serious mishandling of reports of racism. The same school system was under federal review for mishandling claims of racism. Investigators found that the district administrators, we're talking about grown folks, the district administrators intentionally ignored serious and widespread racial harassment in its schools for years, failing to respond to hundreds of reports from Black students after they had been called slaves, the N-word, and heard threats that they would be lynched. Put up a picture. She's dead. She killed herself. To anyone that sees this video, disagree with me politically. Vote for Trump if you want to. But you can't keep saying that systemic racism isn't real. You can't keep saying that. These children are killing themselves. This is one issue we should at least all agree on. This one right here. I do apologize. Very unprofessional. If you know someone who is at risk for self-harm, I want you to make sure that you have at least one opportunity, one lifeline available. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline does provide 24-hour support. 1-800-273-8255. Senator Turner, I'm just done. I'm emotionally done. Tell us your thoughts about this.
Yeah, Doc, you don't have to apologize. This is all kinds of effed up. And for reasons, I can't say the word, but this is all kinds of effed up. Izzy may have died by her own hands, but they killed her.
Yeah.
That school district killed her. Those teachers who ignored the pleas of her mama killed her. And those kids involved killed her. And their parents killed her too. Because there was no way in my mama's house, if she had found out that her kids were acting out like that my mama wouldn't snatch us up. See, mamas used to snatch you up.
Yeah.
Because they don't want, that kind of behavior would not be tolerated. And if a 10-year-old seeks to take their own life, that means we got a problem. She only been on this earth 10 short years. We have a problem. The collective, we have a problem. So I'm gonna say to whoever the superintendent of that district, they need to resign. That principal need to resign. All of them teachers involved need to go. Yeah. And start this thing all over again. And the feds need to get on up in there and stay up in there. And the state too, because obviously this particular school district should not be under the control of the folks that's controlling it. And my heart goes out, it's gut wrenching for a parent to have to bury their own child, especially after only being on this earth for 10 years. So I'm telling you, there should be some real consequences for this one. No playing games, slaves, lynching. They're picking up these patterns and these behaviors because this is part of what America is.
That's right. And that's what we're trying to dissect. That's what we're trying to unravel. And it would be helpful if people would at least engage in good faith debate and discussion rather than political talking points when we have our babies literally committing suicide because America is in fact racist.
It is racist. But you remember Tim Scott, after the State of the Union, he gonna say this country ain't racist. And then he was co-signed, let us not forget, by both the president and the vice president of the United States of America co-signed what this brother said, knowing it's a lie.
That's right, that's right. A 10-year-old.
You got one job, Kim. AngrySoccerMom, you got one job. But go ahead, I was just messing with you. Go ahead.
Not at all. I want to take it a step further than they did. And this is my truth. This is my honest truth. They said the teacher, they said the school district, they said the superintendent, they said the kids, they said the parents. No, all white people, we all did it. Sorry. I am telling you right now, we all did it. We killed this child. Okay. And not you personally, but as a collective, we killed her.
So I was just going to caveat, talk to your children. After I seen this, I directly went and talked to my children. And I told them, I said, listen, I'm on your side. 10 toes down. I don't give a damn what happens. I'm going to believe you. Now, I get it. Our kids do something, but our kids are talking to us too. And we automatically believe, especially if it's a white teacher, we believe the white teacher or whoever is telling the truth. And they are bullying our children. And I'm going to tell you a quick story real quick. When we were in Alaska, a little boy by the name of Juan spit into one of my twins' face and called it an N-word. Don't you know the teachers was like, are you sure that's what he did? We don't need to talk about anything. I'm going to tell you right now, if it happens again, it's going to be trouble. Guess what happened the next week? It happened again. And this time, Juan learned, just say booger snigger. And I had to cuss that teacher out. Listen to your kids. These teachers are not apolitical. I'm telling you. One of my daughter's teacher told her that the boarding schools in America was good for the indigenous people.
That's she should be fired. I don't want to cut you off. I am a white teacher, okay? I'm a special ed teacher. I taught regular ed. It is unconscionable. It is unconscionable that any teacher working with any children ever, if they don't know their own history. Now, I was saying racial history, but it's history, okay? It is really history. How can a teacher protect the children from being bullied by the other children? How can they do it if they don't even recognize what it is? If they don't recognize racism, if they don't recognize discrimination, they can't. They might as well be doing it themselves. I'm sorry. They can't protect our children, our Black children, our brown children, our indigenous children, our mixed heritage children. They can't protect our white children either. Because do you want your white kids hearing that bullshit? I don't. That's traumatizing. It's terrible. And I'm sorry. I just, it's unconscionable. These teachers are getting taught cultural competency. No. That is a minimum requirement. They need to know our history. Our history. Our history. If you're a white person, it is very, very, very horrible. And that's saying it nicely. And if white folks don't know our own history, I was saying racial history, but it's our history. Just because we pretend it's not, we don't have it in schools, we have a nice, beautiful story that's a bunch of bullshit. Call it whitewash. That's a nice way to put it. Call it a made-up crock of shit. Call it what you want. But that's what we have in most schools. And so our teachers do not know our own history. What they're teaching is not our history. It is our special white person wrote it up history. Maybe we'll mention a Black person once, during February. I'm just saying. This show is real talk, and this is not my opinion. I'm a teacher. This is a fact. Just saying. Do you want to jump in? I have a lot to say, and I will just keep talking. You know I will.
I mean, the thing about it is, like I said, we can keep living these fairy tales, but history is not there to make you feel good. That's not what history is. And this is why we talked earlier about the old adage is, if you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. And so I indict the people. You want to repeat that. That's what you want. But go ahead, man.
I want to jump in with, oh my gosh, there's just a couple comments I want to jump to, some fantastic ones. T is an actual teacher as well, an actual real life teacher. So she knows. And she also has it. I'll just go back to her comment really fast. If I can, I'm so bad at this. Where'd it go? She's saying she is a child who's autistic. She knows it's incredibly, it's really, it's just, I don't even want to go there. I'm going to try to find her comment if I can get my act together. Let me just find it. You have to be very careful with autistic children, especially because they are already fragile due to being socially awkward. My son is autistic, and I know, and she's also a teacher. Just throwing that in there. Julian, it's great to have you if you're still here, by the way. I'm going to jump around. It's the wrong way around. I was just saying, this is, I wanted to jump down to Richard. Denying systemic racism is the survival tool of the self-professed white non-racist. Abso-freaking-lutely. 100%. Oh my God. To exist in their comfort zones, they have to go along to get along. This may seem harsh, but the self-professed white non-racists are more dangerous than the out-of-closet racists. Oh my God, yes. Oh, yes. If you've ever watched this show, we talk about that continuously. The people who are just, they're not racist. Oh no, they're just nice to everybody. Well, guess what? That doesn't cut it. It's not enough. I'll keep reading your comment. You got me triggered. They say all the right things publicly, but their actions continue to support racism, systemic racism, and the racists who are in government at all levels. Fact, truth, they know it exists. Absolutely. Richard, we got to have you on. We got to have you come on. Absolutely. It is not the people who are trying to learn. And if they're, white people who are trying to get this and trying to not just say it exists. No, that's a minimum. Exists. Hell fucking yeah, it does exist. I'm talking about people who say, you know what? And this is what all white people should do, is to dedicate their lives. Okay. Ooh, big deal. You know, like the least we can do is act human. Dedicate your lives to anti-racism and never stop.
But why would you if you benefit from it? You understand what I'm saying? Like, I get it.
Of course.
Let's call a thing. You're benefiting from it.
Because it's called acting human. We have this really cool thing called the ability to use our critical thinking skills. You know, and it's a really cool thing because it separates us from all the other animals. And we can be afraid and we can see things on TV that scare us. But then we can stop and say, self, what the actual beep? I don't think that makes sense to me. Black people are just lazy. Okay, excuse me. They were freaking enslaved and worked to the point where their bodies were destroyed. I mean, just don't even go there. It's such bullshit. It's like we have this cool thing called critical thinking skills. And I really, really would love to see us white folks using it. You know, just trying it out. I'm not trying to be nasty, but Richard, you are like, that's truth. It's the truth. I don't hate white people. You can say I do. It's a good excuse. I just expect a hell of a lot more.
You know what's so funny? I don't. And the thing about it is a lot of people, I really, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a society that has fed babies to alligators, when you have a society that lynched a pregnant woman, what I'm talking about is the lynching of Mary Turner.
Absolutely.
You lynched her because she complained. She had the audacity to complain that you lynched her husband. And then you lynch her and cut her 8-month-old baby out her stomach. Why? Why are we trying to? Come on.
Yeah, it's the denial is really disgusting. And I think, I mean, I'm going to go on a limb here and say even white people are just goddamn sick of it. I mean, I don't hate white people, but they aren't my favorite. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you right now, when I meet a person who's not a white person or can pass or whatever, I don't expect them to trust me. How many years, months, centuries, I'm sorry, do we have to continue this charade until they say, you know, I don't really trust them. I have to start over every time. And you know what? The way it goes. We as a people have earned that. Oh God, have we earned that? And this whole systemic racism thing is the biggest bunch of baloney. It is so ridiculous. Talk about a made up gig that we benefit from and people get rich from. I don't want to keep going because I'm getting a little bit out of control here. But,
no, it's all right. I the fact of the matter is that, you know me, I'm not going to I don't give cookies for being a decent person. I don't, give you a participation trophy because you did something as a human. But at the end of the day, there's not a lot of people willing to do that. And I'm not big in AngrySoccerMom. I'm simply saying an indictment. Brittany Cooper said that white people in the aggregate have decided to be the villain.
Absolutely.
Period.
The doctor's correct. Listen to the doctor. Dr. Cooper is absolutely correct. In the aggregate, it's not you individually. She doesn't know you. But in the aggregate, abso-freaking-lutely. We are pretty much okay with it. Pretty much okay with it. Let me see here. As told by Aisha, I honestly think white people hate themselves, which is why they love other people's culture so much. Yeah, we got some major self-esteem stuff going on. Absolutely. And I'm teasing. I'm homeschooling my autistic son because he most definitely do something like this if he is bullied. He has a very low self-concept. Oh God, I'm so sorry, T. Thank God he has you as a mommy, because this kind of stuff enrages me as a mom, as a teacher, as a human, as a white human, as a freaking human. You see, understanding and knowing our own history is a minimum requirement. People say, oh, AngrySoccerMom, you're so wonderful. No, I'm not. No, I'm really not. I'm sorry. If acting human gets rewarded like this, And people tell me I'm wonderful. I get people telling me they hate my guts and want to kill me too, but that's another story. No, everybody should be like this. This should be the given. This should be the given. I'm just saying. So jump in anytime, my friend. I have lots to, I'm doing a video. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like I said, in regards to the hate, you're gonna get that. And it doesn't matter how straightforward you are, it doesn't matter how gentle you are. They killed Martin Luther King. And they killed Malcolm X.
Absolutely. No, they just want us to shut up is all it is. And we'll get into a few things and a few reasons why. I have a few speculations myself, and I'm sure you'll have good comments to say. I just want to say, I wanted to get into a little bit about some reasons why all parents should absolutely want to know our real history and want to have their children learn our real history, which includes our real racial history, of course, too. But at this point, it doesn't. History is all of it. And right now, I can't imagine that there's a single public school in the U.S., and I'm just saying it like it is, where the teacher is actually teaching our real history all the time. Not even close. The books are whitewashed. They don't even include the hundreds and thousands of incidences that have gone on and are still going on. And the ones that are stopped have repercussions for centuries to come. You can't stop doing certain things to someone and just be like, okay, we'll move on. No, that's not how life works. The way our history is taught in school is a complete fabrication. It's a fantasy. Yay, white people. Okay, it's a fantasy. It's bullshit is what it is. Of course, white people don't want a real history taught, a real racial history. Hell no, because we all know our real history. And if we know our history, guess what? We can't put up the bullshit and facades and lie about it. We can't say, what, huh? What? No. And we'll actually have to step up to the goddamn plate and stop systemic racism. Not to be a hero, to be a human. And we'll have to help every last one of us. And you know what? We need to stop systemic racism, dismantle it, and make reparations and teach it to every American. Our history. White people attempt to justify not teaching real racial history in a number of ways. And I'm going to be a little real about this. Number one, we feel guilty. We just feel so guilty, we can't see straight. White adults say they believe learning our real racial history will make our children's feelings hurt. They'll make our children feel guilty. No, what kind of crock of shit is that? No, it won't hurt our children's feelings. Our children are actually open and ready to learn unless the parent has done otherwise to them. They won't feel guilty. They'll say, oh, that's our history. You're the one, white folks. We feel guilty. We can't handle it. So we certainly do not want that brought to our children. When your children learn about the Civil War, do they come home? Oh, I feel so guilty. No, they're children. That's on us. Any comments on the rampage? Sorry.
Of course I have a comment.
Jump in.
You know why? Because white people want to attach themselves, specifically white men, want to attach themselves to the good things. We built this. We did that. No, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. Because the next thing is, well, what about slavery? Oh, they give you the Heisman on that one. So you can't have either or. Then the issue is, I didn't own any slaves. All of these people couldn't own slaves, and you weren't a slave, right?
We weren't even in the country then. I could go on and on and on. Oh,
no. I'm saying, then what's the problem? If you have this abstract view of yourself from it, you should have no attachment to it. I don't have an attachment. I don't have.
Why do you feel guilty then? Right? Why do you feel guilty?
I don't have an attachment to Hiroshima. Okay. Why would I have an attachment to that? I didn't do anything.
It was absolutely wrong. It was horrible. And our country did it, but why would you feel guilty? You didn't do it. Exactly. So, it's the guilt. Exactly. I'm sorry. It's our guilt. And we put it our children. Yeah, right. You think all those parents are there screaming their asses off at all those board meetings, school board meetings, because their babies feel guilty. Yeah, right. No, hello, look down, look at yourself. Are you white? Are you a parent? Are you at a board meeting screaming your ass off because you can't bear to have our history taught? It's because of you. Just saying. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being real. It's because of us. Number 2, I truly believe that we can't have it. Oh, we cannot have it, because you see, parents are advocating this important, pertinent information be withheld from our children, and that we shouldn't talk about anything remotely resembling our real racial history. It's lies. We're lying to our children. Sorry, kids who are taught real racial history, they don't have the guilt, like we said. You're afraid your children will think you're a liar, because when they learn from their teacher, and teachers are I'm a teacher. Kids listen to me sometimes before their own parents. Okay. They're going to say in their head, my God, my parents are lying to me. Okay. So of course we don't want them to teach our real history, because they'll say, Mommy, why do you say those things? I mean, no, it's like, it's all about us. I'm ready for number 3. Jump right in anytime you want to say.
I mean, yeah. You know what I want to do with you? You know that guy Cabby Lane, and he does like this?
Nope, but I love you. I don't know pop culture.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the audience know who I'm talking about. But all I'm gonna say to you is like, yeah.
I'm just going on. Another reason we don't want our children taught our real racial history is because we freaking don't know our real racial history. We don't know our real history. We know the history we learned in school, but there's no mechanism in America, unless you happen to have amazing parents or somebody who took you under their wing and you went with it. There's no mechanism for white people to teach us the truth about our real history. So we can remain perfectly ignorant and what, huh? I mean, we can't, but we can, to the details. That's our whiteness and our culture. White supremacy allows this for so many of us. And you see, we don't know our real racial history. If you don't know what the Devil's Punch Bowl is, if you don't know hundreds of race massacres, if you don't know what the Compromise of 1877 is, if you don't know what redlining is, if you don't know, oh my God, I could go on and on, but sundown towns are, I could go on. I will go on and on. Then you don't know our racial history, our history. That's our history. I got to stop saying racial history, but I'm trying to differentiate what we taught in school is just, fantasy. Okay. And we don't know it. So of course we don't know what we're going to tell your kids. Like, I don't know my own history. Well, no. So there we go.
What I will tell you, just like they did with the massacre of Tulsa, they ensured that the papers didn't talk about it. They ensured because they knew. And when you say, this is the thing, people know.
They call it race crime.
They know. And the reason why they're trying to, and this is the thing, because a lie can only go but so far. You know what I'm saying? Until you get everybody involved. And a young lady today told me, Aisha told me, racism is a white poor man's war. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the reason why you're telling these lies is to keep those white poor people in line. Yeah.
Because it's all we have. If we're white and poor, that's all we got is, yay, we can pretend we're better than other people because we were by chance born white. It's a psychological, it's insanity. It's psychological insanity, yet we keep doing it. And the wealthiest elites in our country thank us for our service, because we'll never unite with our brothers and sisters who are brown, black, and indigenous and say, enough, the bullshit's over. Okay. We're done. And I could go on and on. I will. Another reason we cannot have our children learning the truth about our real history. How are we going to indoctrinate our children into white supremacy in our culture if our teachers don't, cut the shit, do not tell our real history? And if our teachers start intervening and actually being honest and talking about what really happened and the repercussions of that and what's really happening with an ing, happening now, how are we going to get kids that uphold white supremacy? They're going to be asking a damn lot of questions. And we can't have that. The next thing, you want to jump in? And
No, you're on the road, bro. Go ahead and do it. I mean, I don't have anything to say.
This enrages. Thank you. It enrages me, but I want your input. And I'm definitely going to jump in and get some comments from people. We don't want our children to know about this because we're afraid they might start thinking for themselves and actually get what the actual, what, my God, I know plenty of white kids who are, older kids, 16, 17, 18, 19, who have racist parents, and they absolutely have. I mean, this is what happens. They say, Mom, Dad, you're a racist piece of shit. I'm sorry. I don't know that I say that, but they are absolutely, completely dedicated their entire lives to anti-racism. I know a number of white kids that are like that, and they have racist parents. And that's what happens. Your children will actually start thinking for themselves, and they'll look at you and be like, my God, you have a double standard. And that's the minimum. My God, you're evil. I don't know. Or you have a double standard. I mean, kids know. They know. We're here.
Well, when you're dealing with fascism, that's one of it. This is a fascist regime. You can play around and say, oh, we're in a democracy. Are you sure about that?
Well,
are you sure? This is a fascist well, what I'll tell you, for people that are not white, cis, and rich, this is a fascist third world dictatorship, period.
And one of the reasons I tend to absolutely agree with that is because, you see, this country's not, and it has never been, okay? We're supposed to be creating a more perfect union, okay? That means we go forward. We become more human. We become more caring and more loving, not less. We care about our fellow humans. We actually give a shit when our neighbor next door has strep throat and they can't afford penicillin and they die. We actually think, what the hell? That's sick. That's sick shit. I'm just saying, and it's just one example. I could name 1,000. Right now, there are a number of very, very important topics that pretty much 80 to 90% of the United States agree on, the people, and we don't have them yet. And that's because we aren't running the place. And we're supposed to be heading towards that, more perfect, us actually having, a representative democracy, but we are so going backwards. And a lot like Anne Applebaum in her book, she writes, we're in the twilight of democracy. It's, this is it. This is what the twilight of a democracy looks like. It has two ways. It can become more socialized, not socialized like a country that's considered a socialist country, but more social programs. We've done it before, and then we went back. It's a pendulum. Or we can have a dictatorship like Trump is. Trump's still running the GOP right now, and he's not in office. Okay, I don't want to get into it, but there are two ways to go. Look back in history, and we are headed towards what I consider the not so good one. Okay, the horrific one. And white folks, it's not going to be good for us. I don't care how racist you are. You think, unless you're really wealthy, you think that this is going to be good for you to have a regime? oh my God, please. So
the thing about it is, I have 3 things to say, right?
okay. Yes.
So you know how every white person, they can track their genealogy back to wherever, right?
Mhm.
It always seems to be seeing a king or a queen involved, right? Or a duke and a duchess.
European, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but this is the thing, it's a lie. Now, see, that's what the problem is that a lot of that is a lie, because a lot of it's a book, I forget what his name is called White Liberal, and Thomas Sowell, White Liberal, Black Redneck. And what he says in this book is that the people that first migrated, they came from the highlands, which were considered those poor, lowbrow people, and they described them, other white people describe them the same way they describe us. Oh, they're lazy, they're loud, all they want to do is fight. So when you had these Africans, these stolen Africans that came over, right?
Mhm.
These are the people they were in you know what I'm saying? Initiated to. It wasn't the plantation, it wasn't the rich person. So at the end of the day, if you're looking at us in the aggregate, those stereotypes, because you was saying about telling the truth about things, that is where that comes from. When you keep, hear, like, these slave porn movies, and you hear those black people speak that way, everybody didn't speak that way. But my question is, if you came from a different country and you spoke to a person that spoke in a certain way, your language, your diction, all of that stuff is going to sound like the person that you heard it from.
Oh, absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
and this is the thing, my thing about white people, you left from somewhere, because England was doing what? England was doing what to Ireland? England was doing what to Scotland? England was doing a lot of white people. It was a lot of white on white crime. And I'll leave it like that.
Okay. Yeah, and if you want to know, not that we're getting into this right here, but I have a video that has Noam Chomsky, and it's all about Black vernacular English, and he is amazing. He's just, I love that man. He just says it like it is. I think it's one of the best videos I have on, not to like, toot toot my own horn, but it hasn't gotten many hits, and it's all about explaining what it really is, the truth. And he's amazing in it. He's just so real. It's awesome. So I really want, check out my YouTube channel, and it's Noam Chomsky. I call it Black English, and he's the world's foremost expert. Just saying. Let's get some comments here. And welcome people who I haven't said hi to. I apologize. Thank you so much for being here. Kayan or Kyan, I am horrible. I'm a phonics specialist. Oh, go figure. Right on. Thank you so much for being here. Richard, if our real history is taught to our kids, it will expose white parents and people's lies. Absolutely. And that's, yep. Richard, white people should feel guilty about racism and systemic racism because they're currently benefiting from it. That I can definitely speak to, because I know what you're saying, and I don't know why. This could be like an issue with just a personal thing. I don't know. I don't feel guilty. I'm pissed. I'm angry. I don't feel guilty. I feel enraged, because, not to be like conceited, but this is not the world I want for my children. And I certainly don't want it for yours. And that pisses me off, because we did this and we could help stop it, but we don't give a shit. So I'm pissed. I do not have, for some reason, I don't have the guilt thing. I don't know why. I noticed this when I was 6 years old, and I thought, what's going on here? I didn't know what it was. I don't get into me, but I'm just saying, I know, I get the spirit of what you're saying, but I don't feel, at least not consciously, I don't feel guilty. I feel mad. I mean, really mad. Like, no. And they, just saying. Let me see. Cayenne, forgive my mispronunciation if I am. Every white person benefited from the enslavement of African American people and still do. I'm just going to add that in. That's not what you said. Whether you could afford an enslaved person or not, one benefited based solely upon their whiteness. Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you didn't choose to partake in having an enslaved person, for the most part, you probably couldn't afford it. Just saying. We upheld it. Okay. Now, there's always been abolitionists. Don't get me wrong. But if we're keeping it real, okay, there always have been. They've been few and far between, and many, many times throughout history. They are not the abolitionists, the white abolitionists. They're not John Brown, okay? Sorry. They aren't the white. They think that it's wrong, but, they think maybe we should just live separately. They don't think that we're all humans. Oh, no. I mean, that's all I'm trying to say is there was a different definition than what one would think usually. But you got to study all this stuff. It's crazy. Absolutely. Thank you for that great comment. You're lactose intolerant, so am I, but I can't drink milk. I take Lactaid. I'm a milk hater. Okay, fine. I'm intolerant.
Well, as a Black woman, first of all, as Black people, we shouldn't and we don't need to drink milk anyway.
It's actually not healthy for anybody, be honest.
Right. But, again, I forget what his name is, a doctor. I'm going to put it in here that says that even the FDA, all of these places that keep telling Black people to drink milk and is resulting in fibroids and problems and all.
They just want our money. They just want the money.
That's what it is.
They just want the money. Yeah, no, they want our money. And the milk industry is actually, I'm not going to go on this tangent, but it's incredibly cruel to animals. And we don't require milk. Okay, I'm not going there. I'm not an expert. I'm just saying. I'm actually my older sister is an expert in this field. So I should bring her on sometime. Let's get some more comments. Thank you for jumping in there. No one's powerful. Oh, that guy's, he's good. Those who deny racism should feel guilty. Right. That makes absolutely. Hell yeah, they should. I completely agree. I know that sounds mean, but you know what? Act like a fucking human. Just saying. I'm saying it. Anna's not. I'm saying it. Yes, me. White woman. Yeah. I can't drink milk tea. Neither can I. Oh my gosh. Let me see here. It's very damaging not to have Black teachers, especially Black male teachers. Yes, absolutely. God. Thomas Clarkson was one of the Europeans' earliest abolitionists. Thank you for that. God, I love when people who are watching jump in and they teach me, they teach everybody. I'm here to learn. I'm here to blab too, of course. I'm blabbing, but I am definitely here to learn. Ramses, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here. So the reasons I'm giving and all that and what we're talking about right now are very real. They're very real. Actually, only one person in my family can't handle milk, and that's my daughter. The rest of us, run cows, run. Yeah, just kidding. But so I've been talking right now with Anna about history, the real history, as opposed to the fantasy land that we have in every school basically, and pretty much almost every school. And we're talking about all these very specific reasons why, of course, we white folks don't want our children to learn the real truth. Hell no. They'll think we're liars. They'll think, oh my God, they'll question us. We don't even know our real history anyway. Let's be real. Most white folks don't. They'll think we're bad people. They'll think we're immoral. I was going on and on and on. You don't want your kids to learn our real racial history because you won't be able to answer their questions. Just saying. As a white person, most of us do not even come close to knowing our real racial history, our real history, the ones that you're not taught in school and neither are your kids. So we can't answer the questions for the children. So we stick to the company line. The company line is white supremacy and the lies and the stereotypes and the cruel, like we were saying earlier, it's not the KKK people nowadays. It's not the people who said, you know what, I'm going to learn, I'm going to try, I'm going to dedicate myself, I'm going to make mistakes, I'm going to fuck up, and I'm going to say sorry, and I'm going to learn from it. No, it's not them. It's the gazillion masses of other white people who are just kind of hanging out. Just hanging out. And you know what? They're nice to everybody, so that should do it, right? I treat everyone the way I'd like to be treated. Well, wouldn't that be a cool way to dismantle systemic racism? Just treat everyone the way you'd like to be treated. It's a great idea. It really is. But we've come a little too far. Centuries. It's powerful. It's a nice idea, and I highly encourage it. I'm not saying be an asshole. I'm not saying. But you have to be, like they say, you have to be anti-racist, and you have to be active, and it has to be a lifelong commitment if you're white. If you really care. And it's not that hard. It's history. Okay? It's history. And once you see our real history, it will shed light, oh my God, on the repercussions of that history. And then your eyes will open up another time to what's happening now. And you'll be like, of course things don't make sense to what's happening now if you don't know our real history. You're like, oh, come on. Oh, I remember being like that. Oh, people would never do. Oh, come on. Oh, not everything's racist. Yeah, it is. Sorry. At least
they laughed at Mayor Pete when he said about those roads.
I know, and I'm laughing at that.
Remember that?
I put three vids up this week about Mayor Pete.
Right.
Mayor
and
Pete
you know,
to the plate.
Right. And this is the thing. It's a book for everybody out there. It's called Color of Law. And if it didn't make sense what he said, that book will show you how roads were purposely driven through successful Black neighborhoods to break it up. And then what happens, they turn those areas into commercial areas, which then now you can put the garbage dump, you can put whatever you want. And then the pollution from the cars makes all the people sick.
I just put a video out on that, Anna.
This is the problem. This is the problem, AngrySoccerMom, is that we're looking at it in a vacuum. Road, Black neighborhood, racism. We're not putting it all together. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's like a Pepe Sylvia thing. From it's always you have to put it together. Get your board and write a CSI thing because it's all connected.
Redlining. We got ton downtowns. We have Los Angeles alone is a perfect example of absolute atrocity. Splitting up. Oh my God, Central Park in New York City. They stole land, basically stole. It would be worth millions today. They stole from a community that was middle class and upper class. And they took it all. And they said, oh, eminent domain. And of course it was Black and brown people mostly. And yeah, I mean, no, this is what we do. And when I actually the reason I put the video out is because when Mayor Pete, I call him Mayor Pete, sorry, Secretary Pete said, Secretary Pete said that it's racist, people lost their shit. They're like, huh, what? Well, you know what? Catch on. You don't get it. He's very academic. Okay. And he has had many problems in the past. And to see him step up, that is an example of what you do. White people, we're going to make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. I feel like shit about myself, but I say, suck it up. I say, AngrySoccerMom. I don't call myself that, but still. Drop your ego. It's not about you. That's how I talk to myself. Sometimes I talk to myself that way. And, sometimes no, I'm kidding. It's not about us. It's not about our feelings. No, our feelings do not matter more than people's lives who are killed because of our ignorance. So my last comment, and I swear I'll shut up. Yeah, right. You got to be aggressive with me. Like, do you really think our kids don't notice how Black, brown, Indigenous people of mixed heritage are treated in our society? Do you really think they just don't notice it? I'm sorry. They do. Okay? They notice it. And parents, yeah, your children are going to hate you for doing this. I know I would. That's a horrible thing to do to your child, lie to your child about our real history. Horrible. So, I won't go on and on.
What I will say, and it'll be in my conclusion.
Okay, because that was
about this subject, so we can move on. Is that one thing I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you two quotes, right?
Mhm.
One is by George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. Africa has no history and did not contribute to anything mankind enjoyed.
Oh.
Had you ever heard that, ma'am?
Yeah, I've heard somebody say that before.
No, from that quote. You heard that quote before?
No, I've heard somebody say, so paraphrase though, absolutely.
No, that's a quote right there.
Right, no,
Then,
I've heard a paraphrase. Yep.
Yeah. And then Mandela says the institution of slavery also helped to strengthen the belief that Africa had no history, it had no culture.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't have that live in a box.
Just like we said, the
in a
natives,
vacuum.
right, in a vacuum.
You have to put it all together.
Mm-hmm.
It has to link up like Legos. But yeah.
If you look in our history texts, in almost every last one of them, there'll be a map that shows early America, North America, and it'll be completely blank, and there'll be 13 colonies. But that's how we roll. There was nobody there. No, there were no nations there. Oh yeah, there were. So it's like, anyway, I could go on, and I kind of do. Sometimes. All right, I wanted to jump to the next. Are you good to go to the next topic?
Let's do it, ma'am.
Okay. The next topic, I have to bring that video up again, but who is Kevin Davis? Well, you know what? Every last one of us needs to know, because this is just like the enslavement of human beings, our fellow humans, in front of our very eyes. And by the way, I'm putting out my first video on the atrocities of enslaved humans. It will seem very basic to anybody who sees it, but I am so over with, oh, enslaved people liked it. Oh, it's like, just stop. Okay. So it's very, very blunt, and it's very, very hard to watch. And I probably won't get many people watching it, because the white people will be too afraid, too wimpy to watch it. And anyone else shouldn't have to watch it. Sorry. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, this is our fight too. We just don't know it. So Kevin Davis there are lots of them all over the country. Oh, there are lots of them. And there's one in particular that Anna knows way too much about. And if you want to, can you do like a quick summary? And then I will bring up that vid, because it went away when I went away. Okay.
He's a domestic terrorist that is being moved around like a pedophilic priest. This man, was that short enough?
That was awesome. No, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready. I don't have that video yet. Oh my God.
This is the thing. This is a white man that failed up over and over and over again.
And then this is what we do. This is nothing new. Sorry to interrupt.
This is nothing new.
This is how we roll.
This is how you roll. This is how you keep white supremacy going. And if you don't know anything about white supremacy, you don't know anything about anything in this world. Period. Let me know when you're ready. I'll keep talking about Kevin Davis. But Kevin Davis, you ready?
I'm ready anytime, but go ahead.
Let's go. Let's go. No, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You're very right on the fact that if you do not understand, in my mind, if you don't understand two things, systemic racism in our real history, and I mean all of it, and what capitalism on steroids looks like, okay, then your opinion, no offense intended, is kind of like, ignorant, and that's a nice way of putting it. Not all opinions are created equal. And yeah, okay, some are real and facts, and some have education and the truth behind them, and science and history, and some have kind of a fantasy. So here's the video. I will get it going. This is, you know what? You'll be shocked, but you won't, because this is how white folks roll. And we've done it from the very beginning with slave patrol people as police. And we've done, I'll talk later. Oh, you know I will. So let me shut me up, somebody. Okay.
Former Baltimore Police Commissioner Kevin Davis will soon be the new chief for the Fairfax County Police Department. Davis began his career with Prince George's County Police and rose to assistant chief of that department despite a record of use of force cases. In a story you'll see only on News 4, Prince George's Bureau Chief Tracy Wilkins explains why one county resident says he can't forget his encounter with Davis. A warning, we want to advise you that some of the images in this report are disturbing.
At 52, Mark Spann still can't forget what happened nearly 30 years ago, the summer before he headed to law school, when he was stopped by then Prince George's County Police Officer Kevin Davis in front of his family's Temple Hills home.
At that point in my life, I was under the ideology that the police or all police were here to help to serve the community.
And this really isn't occurred when he had me on the ground.
News 4 covered Spann in 1993 with the blood from his injuries dried on his face. He explained that Davis violently took him to the ground, arresting him.
And at that point, Davis says, "Give me your hands," and lodges me to the ground, throws me to the ground, and proceeds to mash my face to the pavement.
It was never clear why he was stopped, but he was charged with battery, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct.
I think it's out and out racism. The first question he asked was, upon we stopping, was not, what have you done, where are you coming from, how did you get that car?
Mark remembers the ride to the hospital in the front seat of Davis's police car. He would later describe those moments in court.
I have, to this date, never experienced such racial slants, slurs, and epithets, and the denigration. I remember at one point he had placed his baton next to it in the seat, and he began putting on black leather gloves, and these are all intimidations tactics.
Spann won a civil suit against Davis. Davis rose in the ranks. 6 years after Mark's case, Davis, then a sergeant, was sued for false imprisonment and arrest of a young man who claimed Davis and other officers essentially kidnapped him for a night. The victim won his civil suit. Davis went on to become assistant chief of the department before leading Anne Arundel County and Baltimore City's police departments.
I'm incredulous that this person could rise in the ranks of helping to serve a community. Any community.
Kevin Davis released a statement to News 4 saying, "I'm proud of my long career in law enforcement that includes leadership roles as assistant chief, chief, and commissioner in 3 large jurisdictions. A career that includes a history of reform accomplishments, a demonstrated commitment to diversity, crisis intervention, use of force de-escalation, body camera implementation, and police discipline transparency. I look forward to leading Fairfax County into a bright future of world-class constitutional policing." Davis did not respond to my request for a sit-down interview with him and Spann. Spann says he can't forget what happened that night.
You're never going to forget, but you are compelled to move forward.
Mark says that when Davis was up for the job in Baltimore City, he was contacted by an internal auditor for Baltimore who had questions about his incident. He says that this time around he has not heard from Fairfax County. For News 4, I'm Tracy Wilkins.
Jeff McKay, the chair of the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors, told News 4 last week that he is excited for Davis to start, and he says he thinks that he has a good reputation across the region. Davis officially begins as Fairfax County Police Chief on May 3rd.
Did you hear that?
So this is an old video, but
No, but I just want to tell the audience.
Yeah, no, jump in.
Not an old video. It's from April.
Well, no, I mean, it's not like this week.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I just want people to understand that this is from April of 2021. I'm here in Virginia. And we found out about this case. And I'm going to tell you how we found out about this case is because we have a guest on. Her name is Robin. Robin is a victim of the Fairfax County
I was
police.
just reading that. I was just reading that going, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a long, trust me, it's long. And these people have been terrorizing this neighborhood. So you want me to, can I bring it together for you? Like Pepe Silva?
Take over, do it. Like I always take over.
Pepe Silva. Do you know what I mean by Pepe Silva?
Yeah, you kind of do because you just taught me, but otherwise I wouldn't.
Okay. Well, anyway, what I'm saying is we're building our CSI board, okay? So Fairfax police, right? We have a police brutality case. A domestic terrorist by the name of Officer Timberlake accosted a Black citizen, tased him. Now, mind you, the Black citizen called the cops. Now, mind you, Timberlake came from somewhere else. There was already a cop there dealing with the issue, right? Okay, so you heard Timberlake, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Timberlake in the Fairfax County, from reports that we have, him and a group, allegedly a group of thugs, and I'm about to put all their names on blast real quick because I know they love for people to know who they are and what they do. So allegedly, these people call themselves the bikers, and they hang out at the local 7-Eleven and the Knights of Columbus. I guess it's a place that they go, the Knights of Columbus. Allegedly,
group? Are you talking about
I'm sorry.
You're talking about the white supremacy group, or
it's supposed to be a place.
Yeah, it's the hall where
like a hall or something.
Okay, because that's also the name of
right. I know that. I know that. And the plot thickens into the thick of it. Into the thick of it.
Sorry for interrupting. I'm like, what?
It's all right. Okay. Chamberlain, allegedly. Chamberlain, Timberlake, Weeks, Alfred Baldessari, Cook. All of these thugs terrorize the people in this neighborhood. Kevin Davis knows about this, right? Mm-hmm. The former police chief, Rossler, mm-hmm. right? Rossler was the former police chief, right? Rossler said, to the effect, this is not good. I'm going to discipline, or I'm going to, he said he didn't walk the line. So allegedly the fraternal,
he didn't walk the police line. He didn't walk the police line like the blue line, the blue wall
of the police, right? The fraternal order, the local fraternal order of the police took out a petition for him to be fired
because he wouldn't be a racist little fuck like everybody else.
Exactly.
Sorry, just thought I'd clarify for anyone who doesn't get it.
So you see what I'm saying? Fairfax County, they had a police chief, Wrestler. They said he resigned after he made comments about Timberlake. They bring this Yahoo in, right? Mm-hmm. We know his history. So let's fast forward now. He just took his office May the 3rd. This just happened, right?
And you live there?
I went to the so they have a civilian police review panel. The civilian police review panel has no power at all. I have videos. I'll send you the videos of what happened. Oh, we took videos of the whole meeting. They have no power. It's a toothless lion. So what ended up happening is you have a civilian police review board. Someone, I forget who the name of the gentleman that was on the board of supervisors said, and I quote, that the civilian police review board panel is anti-police. So now you have the board of supervisors.
Wow.
Somebody in the board of supervisors stating that a civilian police review board that they appointed, the citizens, as far as I know, did not appoint those people. And from being around them, from what I understand, for the most part, all of them are lawyers.
They're not anti-police. They're anti-corrupt police, which is
if you can't tell the difference between
can't tell the difference because they're either watching it or doing the crime themselves.
Right. If you can't tell the difference between police brutality and police, there's something wrong with you. And so now you have the Civilian Police Review Board that can't do anything. So let's get deeper into it. The Civilian Police Review Board is now it just closed on November the 5th to hire an executive director. For what? Okay, but listen to what the executive director is going to be paid. $86,000 up to $49,000 a year.
Do what?
To be an I'll send you the picture of what they're supposed to be doing. I don't know. But the person is going to be an agency head. To do what? Because to do what? I have no idea. So let's go back up to our Pepe Silva board. You have the Fairfax. You got the Board of Supervisors. You got, let's come down. You got that appointed the Civilian Police Review Board panel, right?
So they got lots of people all over the place.
Lots of people all over the place.
Showing a good show.
Right. Now, this is the thing. When they hired that domestic thug, they hired a hiring firm that said they didn't know that. That was in April.
They didn't know the reputation. They didn't know that his past was just unbelievable.
Can I tell you something? I Googled him.
And
I Googled Kevin Davis and police brutality.
So, oh my God! So you're calling bullshit on that?
I'm calling bullshit.
It's all
calling bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm calling bullshit.
They didn't know. They didn't look into his freaking background. Oh, please!
I'm calling bullshit. You see that? Somebody just posted it. They just posted it. Yep. So now this is mind you, the article I read was May the 1st. He was supposed to take over May the 3rd. They said that they didn't know, and he never told them. So
he
now,
withheld information.
I'm sorry?
He withheld information.
So how do you have a job? How do you have a job? You either lied or you lied by omission.
Lie of omission, yeah, absolutely. Kind of a big lie of omission. Kind of a big one.
Yes. Well, you didn't ask me if I beat 2 different Black people up and lost both cases. It's not just allegations. He lost.
He lost because he did it. And if he did those 2, he must have done so. Oh my God.
Those are 2 we know about. Now, Miss Robin, and there's a part of the community that if you bought, you just bought a line of them, they could tell you every instances with these different cops. And from what I understand, majority of them are white. So now you have white cops that have no connection to that neighborhood. Why don't I don't know if, and we're going to check on this, if those cops live in that neighborhood. Because at the end of the day, you're hiring cops that have no connection to that neighborhood. You're paying them, and they taking the resources out of the neighborhood to make other neighborhoods better, so their kids can go to better schools, their kids can live in better. The people that you're policing and terrorizing.
Are you saying the resources, like they're giving tickets and they're taking revenue? Or what do you mean by
that? And pay because think about it. Right. You have a job. Right. You're going to go to the grocery store.
Given the job, right? Gotcha. Okay, I just want to clarify.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You're taking and if you have no connection. I went up to Fairfax yesterday.
They're like, yeah,
these animals, right? Mm-hmm. So the piece de resistance. I'm gonna send you the videos, and Robin, I won't forget the detective B. Vaught and TL House, I think is, but allegedly, or we went to the Civilian Police Review Board yesterday, and it just so happens that Officer Kevin Davis was given a presentation on, guess what it was? Implicit bias.
Seriously?
Dude.
So, oh, that's right. I read that. I read the article. It was in the article. Oh my God. What a joke.
No, he gave a presentation on it last night. So let me get the, yeah. Let me get the edges off, right?
Sorry, I just keep getting appalled.
No, it's okay. I didn't know about it, right? And in these meetings, they say they only have public forums 6 times a year. So every other month you can talk. I don't understand that. But anyway, so we're in there or whatever. And so they're talking, and their conversation is about whether an appeals process, you should let the complainant talk again. There were people actually in there that said, well, why do we need to listen to them? Or the person that said it didn't say. He's like, well, what's the point of listening to them again or hearing them speak again? And 2 gentlemen was like, because we should have if they feel like something happened to them, and even though we may not take up the case, we can still let them have their say. There was 2 people in the meeting that was like, what's the point?
They want to shut down the voices that are speaking.
Yeah, they want to shut down the voices. So okay, that's fine. Long comes Davis and Major Morgan. There was a trainer, implicit bias trainer by the name of Scott, a white man. And I'm not opposed to that, because I think they would take it different coming from a black person versus.
And we need to take responsibility and
freaking. Right. No. I'm talking about the reaction to those thugs. They would take it differently coming from a white person versus me. Oh, the only reason why you're saying that is because you're a woman and y'all have.
I can hear you. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So they're in there, and he's giving a presentation on the implicit bias, right? So Scott, the trainer, a contractor, which I'm telling you, his contract is very, 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 very lucrative, right? The same training Scott is given, Army personnel get taught, and we give it. So mind you, I've had this training for 24 years, at least once a month. Do you know how many hours of training a person with a gun and a taser gets? Guess. No. It's higher than 0.
Oh, no, I'm talking about across the board.
No.
I did studies, but in this place, no, I have no idea.
In this particular case.
No, I have no idea. But across the board, it's pretty much 0.
16 hours every 3 years.
And they give them a gun. It's loaded too. And they can use it with impunity.
So as long as he said, I think the major said is sworn professionals and some other people, they get trained for 16 hours every 3 years. How the world can change in 3 years. And I asked them the question. I said, you think that's sufficient? And oh yeah, it's sufficient. I said, okay. No, seriously. I said, so are you doing train the trainers? Because that's what we do. Scott would come, he would train a representative, and then that representative would do supplemental training. Do you know how much supplemental training they get out through those 3 years? Now you can put your donut up. Yes. So 3 years, 16 to 18 hours.
It's lip service. They're giving you lip. It's yeah.
Would you? It's okay. It gets better. So as we're talking, there's more. So as we're talking, I said to him, I said, I was a master resiliency trainer. I was EO. I was sharp, right?
Can you tell people what that means who aren't military?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
A master resiliency training. MRT is a master resiliency training. Basically, We teach you how to be optimistic and resilient. We teach you thinking traps. We teach you implicit bias. We teach you all of these things and how for you to deal with your thinking process. We teach you how to think, if that makes it,
good path in a good positive direction.
Right.
Absolutely.
And give you different types of paths of thinking process, and realize when you have a bias, and you're in the heat of the moment. Because don't they always say that, oh, I'm a cop in the heat of the moment, okay. So then he goes on, this is Davis now, he goes
heat
on
of the moment.
I'm sorry?
Heat of the moment. God, don't even get me
started. He goes on to tell me that, because I asked him, I said, you have a bunch of Army bases around here, right? I said, did you go to the Army base and maybe ask for the post IG, the post equal opportunity rep, the post MRT trainers? Oh, well, being in the Army and being a police officer is different. And we can't be taking our people off the street like that to, basically make them do this training. And, we just, and I'm looking, and no, I have it on video. I'm going to send everything to you.
I believe you. I'm just saying, that's
very dismissive, very contemptful. So my thing is, so you're telling me that a person such as myself that's been to combat zones, that I don't know how to handle, or we are not taught to handle ourselves with weapons of mass destruction, right? When we're dealing with, we both are dealing with combatants, but we know that's on a different level. And we fare so much better than you. And what I told them is consequences.
Yeah, they do it with impunity. They give them a loaded freaking gun and shoot whoever
you want. Wouldn't you want the most training? If I'm sitting here using this saw, dude, I need you to train me every week. I don't want to cut my hands off. No, that's not what they want. Good night, Jamie.
Good night, Jamie. Thank you so much for being here.
But yeah, it was disgusting. It was really disgusting.
It's all so backwards.
And they were really proud of themselves. And this is what the last piece de resistance. Kevin Davis had the nerve to say that he had 20 years of implicit bias training. Yet you still clearly, what were you doing at the training? Because you lost 2 civil suits and beat up
many. Who knows how many?
And you're allowing, because like I told them, the fish always rots from the head. So they know who you are. That was a dog whistle.
Oh, absolutely. So this is very purposeful.
But I will send you all the videos and you can edit them as you like. But when you watch them, baby, these are grown old people doing this.
This is purposeful.
There's a whole bunch of boomers. I'm going to be honest. Half of them, they need to go on and go with their grandkids, great grandkids. You are too old for this. And I'm not being an ageist.
Grow the fuck up and get a life and stop.
Right. I'm not being an ageist. I'm saying the same thing I would say about Joe Biden. You do not need to be in office. You are old. When you're still calling people Negroes, or that just rolls off your tongue. Oh, you didn't see that?
I missed that. I haven't been around.
That's something else. Go ahead. But yeah, it was trash.
Oh God, no. Oh God, no.
You can go ahead. It was trash.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Tell me that wasn't recent, right? Please.
That was last night.
Oh God, no.
Last night.
Wow.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. In real time.
Because I've been
that was last night.
because you know what I'm doing with my home, so I haven't been around.
Yes, Talonda, that was last night, baby.
Do tell us and do send it all. You guys, anything she sees, I'm putting up on my YouTube channel. I'm putting up on my Patreon. I'm putting up on my Facebook. I'm going to spread it. Don't worry. You'll get this stuff. You haven't heard this. I just have been super, super busy with some other family matters that normally I keep very close track. Wow. Yeah, Mr. FS Black. Yes.
This was last night.
Wow.
This was last night. We went to the meeting. The meeting started at 7:00. And they have meetings. They have meetings every month at 7:00. But as you know, with the Board of Supervisors meetings, they have them every month too. But it's at 9:00 in the morning, 9:30 in the morning. How
can you go if you work? Like,
right. And it's, I mean, it's certain times they stream it, but with this one, they don't stream it. And so I got the agenda. Remember, I told you his name is on the Kevin Davis's name is on the given. It was, oh my God. That's like a white person showing us how to. I'm trying to figure out something like that. Like, it's like, what? Who?
It sounds like a
man teaching us how to have a baby.
Yeah,
like,
right. It's like, who? Right. I mean, I'm sorry. It sounds like they're doing everything for looks and for name only, and they're doing absolutely the opposite in reality, and the wrong thing. I mean, and this can act as a microcosm for hundreds and thousands of precincts, I'm sure. From what I've read and what I've studied, oh my God, it is just like this blue wall, this blue line. Everybody knows about it. The kids even know about it. It's all open corruption right out in the open. Just like everybody knew enslaving a human being was barbaric. Everybody knows the police corruption is the culture, always has been, and until it is dismantled, always will be. And it's rampant, and we all know it. But some of us of the less active melanated complexion, we don't give a shit, you know. And even if it happens to our people, we don't care, because they're way worse with Black and brown and indigenous people. And we won't even go there, but it is the truth, because we will chop off our own head as long as it's hurting Black and brown people, indigenous people. And I can name 1,000 examples. I won't get into it. It's mental. It's mental. So
my whole thing about it is, we talked about this already, how racism hurts white people too, because when they were closing the pools, they were closing the schools.
They didn't get the schools or the pools either, but they didn't care.
They didn't care. As long as I'm hurting you, as long as I'm hurting you. And I'm gonna give everybody my Twitter page, please. I don't want you to follow me on Twitter. That's not why I'm giving you my Twitter page. I'm giving you my Twitter page because everything about this case,
it's on there.
Everything about these. I got 2 videos. I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send that to you.
Send me as much as you can. I'll get it. I want everything out. I want.
Right.
If you hear me, I will put it up.
Right. Just follow me on Twitter. And it's at Black PO.
Can you type it in or no?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna type it in, and you go ahead and talk. But the thing about it is, like I said, Kevin, please look up who Kevin Davis is. He is a domestic terrorist.
Who's getting promoted and promoted and promoted. All right. Want to make any closing statements and or anything like that, or is that kind of?
No, I mean, it's just ridiculous. And
that's terrifying. You live there, this guy.
Yeah. It's just disgusting, because at the end of the day, you know, these people in this neighborhood, hey, Nails and Glitter, these people in this neighborhood they are being terrorized.
That's just awful.
They are being terrorized.
Just knowing he's a white supremacist, just the knowledge
that's what I'm saying. They know.
Absolutely, yeah.
And this is the thing, like the situation, from what I understand, Davis hasn't killed anybody yet. As far as I know, exactly. Yeah. As far as I know.
Yeah, and you know what? We don't know, to be honest. We don't know.
Right, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. As far as
with two things and found guilty, obviously, of doing them beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
But what he's really done, we will never probably know, because
and that's the thing. Yeah, that's the problem, is that we may never know what he's done and what other people like him has done. And that's the sad thing, that these people are paying their taxes. See, this is the last thing I wanted to say about that. Mm-hmm. Both of those settlements, who do you think paid for the settlements?
You guys.
Who do you think paid?
The people who are being abused paid.
The people who are being abused paid for the settlement. So I'm like, okay, so now you're beating them up, you're doing these things, and this Officer Timberlake right now, I don't know if he's on desk duty or he's on another paid vacation, because they're not going to stop paying them when they're under investigation. So you're paying for these people to beat you up, then go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
That
yeah, 100%. And Richard is absolutely. I don't know if you can see up on the screen. I just want to throw this up here, because police corruption will not stop as long as white Americans support qualified immunity. Qualified immunity is a license to kill with impunity. Point blank, the truth. That's what it is, and they know it. They're not even scared anymore. They know it. It's how it is, and it must end. For the love of God, give an untrained racist guns and say, whoever you kill, whoever you might choose to kill or hurt or abuse or terrorize, you'll have no consequences. It's a goddamn free-for-all. So anyway, thank you so much. I just learned that I could put quotes out there. I'm a little excited.
Wow, she learned a thing.
I'm so bad technologically. It's pathetic, but I just, Anna, thank you so much for this wonderful conversation. Being real, the truth will truly set you free. You don't even have to remember what you lied about, because you're not lying. Just saying. And thank you so much for being here, Anna. You are wonderful. And Richard and Nails and Glitter, thank you so much. And Cayenne, can you tell me, do you know Cayenne or Cayenne? Am I saying your name? I'm the worst. You're wonderful. And Robin, I am so incredibly sorry for what you've endured. Oh my God, that's just awful. I wish you the very, very best of luck. I'm going to be posting this left and right. Mr. FS Black, thank you so much. And T, if you're still here, I know you probably have to work in the morning. You're wonderful. And Ron, I'm so thrilled you made it to the show. And I know I'm skipping people, but thank you so much for being here. It's the people who make this talk. And I learned tons. So you guys be real safe out there, please, because a lot of stuff's going on. Thank you. Yeah, maybe we can get that information. Go ahead.
Just understand, with this Kyle Rittenhouse thing, they've effectively told you that it was already open season on Black people. But if you are being a race baiter, it's okay, and we're doing open season on you.
Oh yeah, none of us are. None of us.
And y'all need to understand, when Kyle Rittenhouse gets off, Mississippi is already deputizing. They have a class that's coming up for civilians to be police certified. Not police, but civilians. So
it's terrifying. It's a whole nother topic, but I'll tell you right now, that had nothing to do with self-defense. It had all to do with allowing white supremacy. That was all about white supremacy. self-defense. Don't even go there. It is allowing, the whole thing was upholding white supremacy. And I wrote a whole rant about it. I got so many nests. That's probably where my threat came from. Somebody wants me to get bopped in the head by a black woman. I'm like, why a woman? Come on. I don't even get it. But anyway, I adore you, Anastasia, and thank you to everybody. And we got to get Richard. I got to find out who Richard is and get him on here. And a lot of other people. If you ever want to come on, just get a hold of me. We'll get you on. I'd love it. Good night.
Love y'all. Bye.
Praying for you, Bobby. Take care.